let's get pragmatic because some people are going to listen to this and say, well, they're making this sound so easy, but it's really not as easy as what they're saying. What's so Rick, let's go to you and whoever else wants to jump in here. Let's talk about the process of standing up the cloud. I assume it's a lot like a plan, design, implement, migrate, support kind of model. But what are we looking at when a health system says, all right, we want to utilize cloud DR? What are some of the things they have to go through to get there?
Well, Bill, I kind of chuckled when you mentioned, don't let the long hair fool you. I was a customer of SunGard as well. And actually in one of my health institutions that I work for, I went to the board. I was paying $80,000 a month for SunGard for what we considered plausible deniability. But when you look at the actual plan, if it's not a living, breathing plan, that's pretty much all it is. You're paying for plausible deniability. So I went back to my board and I said, here, look, here's this money. Give it back to the patient care. Give it back to other areas, because this isn't a plan that would actually execute. It's the same scenario, and it's why I think this conversation is so relevant in that when you have a disaster recovery, and healthcare is mandated to have disaster recovery, they're required to protect PHI in every format. They're required to have a data backup, and they're required to have a disaster recovery plan. What we're going through today is a perfect example of why healthcare is critical infrastructure. So when you start talking about the cloud, I always look at it from two different perspectives. If you have a regional hospital, this gives them the ability to actually have out-of-region capabilities, right? So it's a huge eye-opener and enabler for those smaller hospital systems that I think are sometimes struggling because of the reimbursement methods. For large health systems like Stephanie's organization, they spend a ton of money for something that's just basically sitting idle. So when you have the capabilities, now that it's matured to the point to where they can spin that up on demand, but more importantly, they have the ability to be able to test it. So it becomes a living, breathing capability. So that they have confidence in the DR capabilities when they're needed, and then therefore be able to move to that next level of maturation to be able to spin it up on demand and eliminate all those overhead costs. So I think it does change the model quite a bit from the old SunGard days.